So this video is on a pretty hot topic, so you can download the video and distribute on other platforms if you want to. Who knows how long it'll be around. So Madison used to follow simple directions before her regression: autism, toddler, autism awareness, baby. So if you don't know what regression is, I wouldn't even be that surprised because it's something that they've only recently begun talking about with respect to autism. It didn't used to be something that people would talk about, regression, and now it's just a common thing. And that's that's very common, that things appear out of nowhere and then nobody questions it, and it's just that it's the new normal after they introduce it to the world. Oh yeah, regression. And then now we're just supposed to accept it and not ask questions about it. They oftentimes they'll just give something a name and then that's the end of it. I remember very well, 18 months MMR, my son was the social butterfly. He had a red hot lump on his leg where the shot was. He quit eye contact, playing with me and talking for years. Psychologist said he would probably never talk and need institution. He's 12 and talks, and after that I never let any of my children take another. No coincidence, I saw too much. His name is on the V injury bus. So there were so many comments. I just clicked the comments and I was going through them. And sure, I'll read some of the comments, but the point of this video is to just talk about the way that the Matrix works. The way that their system works is that there's no dissent. It's from the top down, dictated, and you either follow orders or you're booted. Everybody should know this, that you're not allowed to take the other side when it comes to most things in school. In school, they try to sell you the idea of, oh, I remember being taught this. Do you want to actually have a persuasive essay? Then what you need to do is you need to get the best argument for both sides and present them both. And the better argument will be the one that shines through. But you don't ever see that in practice. In school, you're never told, okay, here's what we're teaching ball earth theory, now go and study the best of the other theories that you possibly can, study them just as hard as what you're doing here. And once you've seen both sides of the picture, your argument and your opponent's argument, and you totally understand them both to the best of your ability, okay, then make your decision. No, it's never like that. It's in school, it's never like, okay, we're talking about vaccines, so what I want you to do is, I'm not going to seed you with any preconceived notions. Go study both sides and then come back to me and tell me your conclusions. That's not how the system operates. You either submit or you're public enemy number one. Just look at the way that people treat you if you say that you don't support shots, immunizations for small children who cannot consent to it. So the way that I like to frame it is, I don't support giving unnecessary medical procedures to children who can't even consent. I never consented to being vaccinated, and I'm pissed. I think of it as the same thing like circumcision. I don't think that we should be circumcising children today, and because you're mutilating their genitals without any consent. I don't support that. In the same way, you don't know that your child is going to grow up and support the idea of having their immune system tampered with. So you really don't even have a right. This comes down to human rights. But school would never have you investigate the people who think what they're not teaching. And that's the point. That's the way that this place works. You either buy into the system 100%, or you realize that the system is a bunch of bullshit and you're going to have to figure out stuff on your own. You realize that the world runs on nepotism and lies and deception. And the truth is out there, but it's not being handed to you in school. So, yeah, I've blabbed a lot. This topic, though, the regression thing, it reminds me of 1984, about how, oh, we're at war with East Asia or Eurasia. I don't remember the names for it, but the point is that they can change who they're having the war with at any time, and they just keep going on. That's the way that this place, George Orwell knew that that's how this place operates. They can switch marching orders in a second and then just continue on like that's the way it's always been. That's their theories are always changing, and that's not the way that the truth works. The truth is fixed and never changes, but their story is always changing, and they always get to dictate. The expert, the people in power, and it's always from the top down, and any dissenters are just squelched and silenced and booted. I mean, what if you're a doctor and you talk out about jabs? You will be punished by the system. You're not allowed to do that. When I was even just being an instructor at a university, I knew that I had to keep my mouth shut about certain things because I was silent. I couldn't speak my opinion about certain things. And yeah, that's a lot of the way that this place works is just outrage. There's a lot of people that they know the evil agenda, and when they see people that can see, that choose for themselves, that don't just go along with the flow. It's a broad way to destruction. Most people are going to destruction. You need to follow the straight and narrow path away from the crowd is the way to salvation. And it's interesting though that if you actually go to these places, you'll see that there are so many people that know, we know that these things cause autism, but the way that the Matrix works is they'll just ignore people like us and try to paint us out to be this crazy minority. And the way that they accomplish that is they never allow the dissenting opinion to appear on the world stage. You'll never turn on the TV and hear people talking out unless it's a mockery, and that's when they come up with stuff like Jenny McCarthy. They get into their antics of controlled opposition. They'll have the most insane people on the world stage to basically just mock them, to further mock this idea that many real genuine people have. So it's the same thing with flat earth. It's why they get like basketball players to talk about flat earth. We got Tila Tequila talking about flat earth. It's a mockery. I mean, Tila Tequila is a whole different thing. She is just off his rocker. But obviously knows the truth. A lot of these people are illuminated individuals. They know certain truths. To bring it back to this thing, the V thing, there's like certain nurses that I've run into that I can tell. It's like, the evil agenda of this, but and that's what's fueling your passion for your anger at the anti-vaxxers. It's just strange that it's so evil. You can feel the evil radiating off of these people. I guess I can talk about personal experience because this one nurse in particular, they try to gaslight you. The whole medical system is there to try to gaslight you against vaccine injury. The very first time my daughter had a reaction to a vaccine, this nurse, who just looks evil, beyond, you could tell when these people have evil eyes. So my daughter was basically, we think now, had her first seizure and was very lethargic afterwards. And this nurse was trying to tell us, oh, she's just sleeping. She's just sleeping. And then when my daughter had even further reactions to vaccines and a serious seizure afterwards, almost every medical person that came in the room to deal with the situation was asking about her vaccine status. I could have stabbed somebody right then and there. But that's how this thing works. They have to defend the evil. They have to defend it. There's no dissent. There's not a possibility that it's a bad thing, even though you can see so much evidence to the contrary. To bring it back to the 1984 thing, you can be at war with country A, and then the next day they'll say that we're at war with country B, And then what about all the people that are in the society that are like, hey, what happened to country A? I thought we were at war with that. And then everybody is just like, what are you talking about? You lunatic, you conspiracy theorist. Country A, what are you talking about? We've always been at war with country B. I'm telling you, all my children are in their 30s, and when they were growing up, there was no such thing as autism. There's an epidemic of it now. There's something going on that is causing this. I can't put my finger on it. The reason that people like this can't put their finger on it is because it's wrong think. They're not allowed to go there. They're not allowing themselves to go there and to think rationally about the situation. They've been told, it's not that. Oh, yeah, the guy who wrote that study, he came back and said that it was fake. Or either that, or this particular evil, vaccines, is so essential to the beast system, to evil, to the governments. It's such an essential tool that they refuse to allow dissent on the topic. They are good, and nobody can say otherwise. And if you do say otherwise, you're not in the system. You can't have your job. You think that you can work as a journalist if you have an opinion like that? No. Humans are born with an immune system just like a lymphatic system, a respiratory system, cardiac system, etc. Don't let anybody do things to your child with poison under the guise of giving something that your child never needed. I mean, this is how you can just tell the way that people react to the V thing. They've done no research whatsoever. Almost everything that they vax children against are like asymptomatic. The one that they do these days on day 0, they inject babies on the day they're born for hepatitis. And guess what the main symptom of hepatitis is for children? It's asymptomatic, not even no symptoms. Anyways. But you won't ever see, there are so many of us out there. They make you think that you're alone and that nobody dissents. They make you think that there's nobody out there like this. But there's so many of us. The comments are full. Any vax thing, go to the comments. Start looking through the comments. The comments are full of people that know that it's poison, or people with personal experience. The comments are always full of it. But the media will make it out to make it seem like a fringe idea. Anyways, regression just is this new topic. The regression is this new topic, or new talking point, where they'll pretend that a totally normally functioning child can just, boom, all of a sudden become autistic. And guess what? It almost always comes in right after they got some shots. This was by a child neurologist. You don't know that they're all genuine. But there's a lot. I love too seeing the outpour of, at least I only ever see Christians in the comments talking about, pray to Jesus. Jesus is the only one who can heal you from this damage. Seeing people woke in the comments talking about pharmakia, awake rather than woke. But seeing stuff like this, it just warms my heart to know that I'm on the right path, and that there's others on the right path too. And notice you don't see any Hindus. Where are the Hindus in the comments telling you how Buddha can heal your child? Or I don't see any Muslims that are leaving comments trying to comfort and give people ways to heal their child. Jesus is all about healing and comforting, and it's just, I love seeing this in the comments. It does warm my heart when I see people. It's the kind of thing where it used to trigger like a cringe response in me, like, oh, these people feel the need to talk about Jesus all the time. But now it just warms my heart when I see it, because I see that we're different. Like, why are the people that are able to stand up against this evil? It's like so many of us have this Jesus strength in common. Here's somebody talking about Jesus. Anyways, you can obviously pause on any of these frames if you want to. So let's just talk about some other interesting stuff. The reason why I'm talking about this, and the reason why it's important, is that I think it comes into end times. I absolutely do believe that the mark of the beast is going to be some sort of vaccine. And so this is a topic that people could potentially wake up on. People still could wake up on the vaccine topic. And I know that there's still tons of people out there that they trust everything out of the TV. They believe in the system. So it's not even, they aren't allowed to believe that vaccines could be bad. They're scared of even going there. They won't allow themselves to even research that or even consider that. They have scales on their eyes. It's a block. They really are blocked from even going there. And I mean, that just reminds me of something too. You get people that are like that about the Bible too. People have this mental block that won't even allow them to like open it up and look inside. It's like they're afraid of, like people are afraid of looking into vaccines because what if it does turn out? Then they have to start questioning things. Oh goodness, what else do I believe that isn't right? Okay, so just some fun stuff to end this off. This is an interesting thing that a friend of mine brought up, that potentially what's going on here in Revelation, what if this is talking about the tuning out that's going on right now? So let me just read. Revelation chapter 9, verses 5 through 11. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. I mean, that right there already is modern medicine, the way that they keep people hooked up to machines, and hear so many stories these days of people who live in these horrible conditions, live inside of a hospital for years, and that's not life. I'd rather be dead. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold. So here's the interesting tuning thing. And their faces were as the faces of men, and they had hair as the hair of women. So I wonder why I've never even made that connection about, oh, okay, so they have manly faces but feminine hair. We see that a lot with the Martins that decide to tune out in their old age. They have faces of men but hair of women. And their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. And their sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions. And there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. So obviously we don't know exactly what all of these visions and revelations are specifically talking about, but the idea of faces of men and hair of women is kind of interesting. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. And yeah, just with all the wretched, the sexual reassignment surgery, what is a better fitting example of the word abomination than what these people are doing to them? They literally are turning themselves into abominations. So the imagery here, it's like a troon army. It's like Abaddon is going to rise out of the pit and have this troon army with their abomination stitched on body parts and hacked off body parts, and goodness. Oh, what do you guys think about this thing? Physics, man. They just make up whatever. So to me, what this is, does this have something to do with pole shifting? Which there are no, poles, okay, it has more to do with the outside of the Earth than the center of the Earth. Earth is a disk, it's a circle. Earth is a circle, not a sphere. There has been magnetic field changes going on, which is more pointing to wacky end times thing going on. In the end, stuff is going to go wacky. That's why all these things are happening. NASA is coming out saying that Earth is spinning faster. Okay, that's talking about time going more quickly. What is this? What is this that's happening? What that jawbreaker liquid core that nobody's ever drilled to has apparently stopped turning, and it could start going backwards? Wow, how does the physics of that work out? NASA will let us know, don't worry. And how's that comet green anyways? I thought it's supposed to be like frozen water. How's that green? Comets they look a lot like flashlights being shown underwater. Comets are flashlights underwater. There's water up there. Water's above. And then they gotta hit you with the great ape stuff. Humans can correctly identify several gestures made by apes. Yeah, because it's a human inside of a suit. Alright, hope you enjoyed this ramble. God bless everyone. So I don't normally do this, but it feels proper to end this video with a prayer, and I'll read this verse first. Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. So I'll just say a quick prayer now. You can say it with me if you want, or just listen. Heavenly Father, I pray that any children that have been vaccine injured, that you can heal them, and that if there's any of your children out there who still need to wake up on this topic, I pray that you show them the truth about this. And again, I pray for any of the children that are suffering, and I pray that you can heal them, Jesus. Amen.